Morning, my grade 11s. Today's lesson in your COVID English classroom is going to be conditionals, also known as your if sentences, that we have come to know as the if sentences. If this happens, then that can happen. Right. Now, there are a few things that you need to know about this, and this is that you get three types of if sentences or conditionals. Type 1 is where the action is possible or likely to happen. It can happen. For example, if my mom sticks to her diet, it can happen, then she will or she can lose some weight. So if the action is possible or likely to happen, we will use the present tense. Sticks is present, then the action after that will, after the if, will get the present tense. If my mom sticks, there's my present tense, to her diet, then the second action or verb, lose, will get a can, a will, a shall, or a may. So she can or she will lose some weight. Second sentence, if I study hard, the action after the if is in the present. Every day I study. Then the second action, okay, or verb, will get a shall, a will, a can, or a may. If I study hard, which is possible, okay, then I shall do well in my exams. Okay. Now, what happens if it is impossible or unlikely to happen? Right, if the action is impossible or unlikely to happen, then we go and we have a look at the following. It will change to the past. The first action after the if, this one, if I were a bird, okay, will be in the past indefinite. And the second action will get a would, a could, or a might. So if I were a bird, which is impossible or highly unlikely because you cannot be a bird, okay, then maybe then this I would fly to Australia. Or if I were a rich man, the first action in the past, if I were a rich man. Is it possible for everyone to be a rich man just like that? No, so it is quite impossible or unlikely. So if I were a rich man, I would own a Ferrari. And the second action changes to the past as well. The past of will becomes would, can becomes could, and may becomes might. Right. Then the third type of conditional, if this happens, then that might have happened or whatever, is the one where the action has already happened. And maybe you wonder if the outcome might or could have been different. Right. For example, if only I had learned harder last term, my marks would have been better. So it has already happened. Your marks are terrible. But if you had learned, if you had finished that learning, okay, then it would have been better. Because my first action after the if will then be in the past perfect and it will get a had because it has already happened. Remember I said to you, you get your present, your past, and if it has already happened, your further past is your past perfect to show it has happened. It has happened. It is a had. Ha, ha, ha. I am happy that it had happened. Okay. So if only I had learned. You can't do it again. It is in the past. It is finished. It is done. Harder last term, my marks would most probably have been better. So because that is in the past, you must have a would, a could, or a might. You cannot have a will, a can, or a may because you can't have a past and a present in the same sentence. That is not possible. I've explained that to you already when we did tenses. Right, the second action would then get the past as well because that one has been finished in the past. It had already happened. Second sentence as an example. If we had followed the directions. The first action after your if gets your had. If we had followed those directions that my friend gave us, we would not have been lost in a strange town now. What happened is you are now in a situation where you are lost. Okay, so if you had done that one, then that situation of being lost might have been different. Okay, so the following of the directions you had not done. Okay, so that action had not been properly completed. So if we had followed the directions that my friend gave us, the outcome might have been different. We would not have been lost in a strange town. So the second verb or action gets the would, could, or the might. We would not have been lost in this town. Right, so always ask yourself when you see the if sentence, type 1, is it possible or likely to happen? Then you stick to the present. First action gets the plain present, and the second one, the can, the will, the shall, the may. If it is not possible or impossible to be a rich man or to be a bird or to fly to the moon, then it is in the past. If I were a bird, okay, I would fly to Australia. So then that is the past. So therefore, the second part must also be in the past. If it has already happened, but the outcome is much different from what you expected, you had already done it, then the first part will get the past had because you had done it. And the second part would also change to the past form of will, can, and may, because this is not what you expected it to be. Right, then I would like for you to do these sentences and please underline the pieces that you have changed so that they stand out. Maybe write them in a different color so that you know what is going on. Please copy this in your language book. I do actually think that I will make a copy of this and I will include it maybe in your next set of papers that will be delivered to you. So let's see, maybe you can still get it this Friday, otherwise maybe next week Friday, and then you can just complete it. But please have a look at your notes. If you want to do it so long, you are more than welcome. Thank you very much, grade 11s. I will also put it on the RCL group. Have a fabulous day. Thank you. Bye-bye.